Hello, welcome. It's episode 313. Thank you. Welcome to the ProSynth Network live show. It is April 3rd. One day we'll do a show on April 1st and we'll be able to play some big pranks, like Jason did. But we'll one day. Anyway, April 3rd, 2026. It's just gone 7 p.m. here in the UK. I hope that you are safe and well and have had a good week since we last met. And we've got a great show for you, as always, when we have these guests on. We've got some news to talk about. We've got some announcements to make, so stick around for those. They're quite cool announcements as well, especially if you entered our Patron Scratch competition at Synth South West a couple of weeks ago. We have a winner chosen by the very people who made the synthesizer you designed that patch on. So we will announce that a little bit later on in the show. We've got a large panel of people. Unfortunately, Scott can't make it today. He's been held up at other events, and so he won't be able to make it. So we're down as Scott, but we do have everyone else, basically. And we've got one more from our Cherry Audio guest, who I will introduce to you shortly. But before we do all of that, let's get rid of all the housekeeping stuff. First of all, if you haven't already, please do like, comment, subscribe, and share the link around. If you know somebody who doesn't watch this show and you think they might do, please do tell them about it. And of course, if you can like the show as you're watching it, that apparently helps massage the algorithm. And if you haven't already, do give us a subscribe. You don't have to have the notifications, just subscribe, and it really does help us, and it doesn't cost you a penny. So for everyone that's already subscribed, thank you. And if you haven't already, please do give us one of those. If you want to comment during the show, we love to have interaction with all of you people in the chat rooms. If you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, you can comment on all three of those platforms, and they will all come through to us anyway. You might not see them in the respect. You might not see, like for instance, you won't see the Twitch messages if you're watching on YouTube. We haven't got that kind of technology yet, but you can watch or comment, and we'll notice those comments. That's what I'm trying to say. My mouth's not working. So there you go. Like, comment, subscribe, and share if you please. As you know, we are a community channel funded by you and delivered to you from us because we love you. But we do need to keep the lights on, and one way we can do that is to ask you to make a tiny donation, if you will. And one of the best ways to do that is through our Patreon page. Patreon costs you a minimum of $2 a month, and for that you get loads of extra content. You get patches for your synthesizers, both hardware and software, designed by some of the finest sound designers out there. You also get video content, such as all the Synthspirations are on there, and they're all ad-free, and they're all chopped up and playlisted and all that kind of stuff. So there's loads of really cool stuff on the Patreon page that you can benefit from. So we're giving a little bit extra to you for you giving a little bit extra to us. So thank you to all our Patreon subscribers. We love you very much for it. You can also join as a YouTube channel member, and you get all the same benefits as Patreon. So it's entirely up to you which one you want to use, which one's most convenient. But you will get all of that free stuff as well. We've also got merchandise. You can go to our merchandise store, prosynthnetwork.com/merch, and over there you can buy all manner of goodies. For example, we have lots of different t-shirts of different qualities and designs. We've got hoodies, we've got polo shirts, they're my favourite. We've got embroidered stuff, we've got printed stuff, we've got mugs. We've got vest tops. Summer is coming, but also so is Christmas. There's the Christmas jumper. There's baseball caps. There's all sorts of things. The water bottle is a favourite, and I have one of those white glossy mugs, which is great for cuppa soups. It's really good for that because it contains quite a bit, so you can get a nice big hearty cuppa soup in one of those. All sorts of different colours and sizes available. If there's something on there that you want that you don't see, do let us know. And we'll see if we can find a corresponding item for that. So yeah, there you go. That's the merchandise store, and we're able to take a few pennies off the top of every sale, and that all gets ploughed back into keeping the lights on here at the ProSynth Network show. If you want to get involved with people outside of the show and chat to fellow ProSynth Networkers, we have a Discord channel, prosynthnetwork.com/Discord. You can go over there and chat with people and talk about all sorts of different things. There's loads of different channels for different things. If you want to sell stuff, you can put stuff up for sale there. If you want to buy stuff, you can, there's a want list and stuff like that. They talk about software, hardware, all sorts of things. So please do that. And of course, we are across most of the social media channels and networks. So there you go. We're across all of those. And our handle is @ProSynth Network. If you want to ask a question of one of our members of the panel tonight, then please preface your question with a big capital Q. And that will just help us pick it out and put it into the question pot. It also helps if you actually put a question mark on the end of your question, because that flags it on the system here as well. So please do both, and then we'll be safe. So there you go. Questions are very, very welcome. Thank you very much for all of that. Let's bring in all the people because I'm getting dry of mouth, so I need other people to talk. First of all, let's go to probably the youngest member of the team. Hello. How you doing, Mr. Spong?
What working backwards, you mean?
Angle. I do like this camera.
I know you do prefer this camera. I don't know why. Yeah. Can you see my breasts or something?
It just looks nicer. I don't know. There's something about it. It's just
I know what you mean. And
also because it's daylight longer, your face is illuminated a little better, and you're coming through a little bit clearer, which is always good.
I don't know why, but there you go. Yeah.
Well, light is your friend when it comes to cameras, and it's clearly your best buddy.
Okay.
How have you been? You've been rather busy, haven't you? Fixing stuff.
Yeah, this week's been awful, but today has been really, really good. I only burnt out the CS20 twice today.
Oh, just
but penultimately, it's all bolted up and the front door finished.
Wow. A certain Mr. James Stephen will be...
Yeah, he'd be most pleased. When he sees the bill, he won't be.
Well, yeah.
He might as well have gone out and bought a new one. And I got contacted by a couple of people today as well, who have offered me their coding services. So, it looks like the manufacturing is going to go ahead.
So the Sexbot is back on?
It certainly is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff.
Both
Good
of
to
them.
see you, as always. Thought I was going to see you about 10:30 last night when you set up a pub.
I'm not quite sure when that was done.
No, that's very odd.
I think it might have been done about a year ago.
Okay. That was interesting then.
Yeah.
And I was actually free and available. I thought, this will be a fun way to see out the night, but no, as it was not to be. Anyway, good to see you as always, Mr. Kent Spong. Synth Restorer Supreme, and other great things as well. Let's bring in another stalwart of our panel, Mr. Andrew Longhurst. Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much for asking.
Good. Have you been busy?
It has been. It's been a mad week this week. Lots of different things all happening at the same time. So I've had client video shoot to prepare for, and you know what they're like about signing off scripts and things. I've had. I've been doing some presets for that or a demo and a little video. I've been editing the video from Synth South West, which is. It's such a good evening. The people playing. I mean, it's taking a bit of time because, audio and video stuff sometimes does, but it's going to be ready soon, and I can't wait for you all to see that and share it. I'll be, Robbie will be putting it out there, no doubt.
Yes, well, we're getting lots of requests for it, so that will be good when it happens. And it was a great show, so we really do.
Oh, wasn't it?
I want to see it again because I was up and down, backstage, front stage, and all that kind of. So I just want to sit back and relax and pretend that I got smacked in the face by one of Ty Unwin's floppy frisbees. If you didn't see it, then you need to wait for the video.
God, I'm glad you put frisbee on the end of that sentence.
Indeed, yes, indeed. As I said, we are one man down. Scott won't be with us today, but we do. I'll tell you what we have instead of Scott. We have Jackson and Tom, and of course, the person that they own, Jason Jervis. Oh,
Tom's
the person that works for them.
Yeah, the person that works for these cats.
Come on, Jackson. Show us what you got.
Give us the face.
Come on. Oh, he's not in the position.
Oh,
Come on.
He's not in the right position.
He's not. He knows he's not allowed on the modular, so
Yeah. Oh,
I did manage to get rid of his tick. He's had a tick for a week, and he wouldn't let me anywhere near it. Today, Shrimi was grabbed him, but unfortunately, the extraction didn't go well.
The head stayed
So
in.
It had stayed in, so I'm going to have to go in there with the scalpel.
Yeah.
Because you've got to get him out. So
Exactly.
he doesn't know he doesn't know what's coming, but it's going to be messy.
Yeah.
Dr. Jervis, in surgery, please.
Yeah, indeed. Anyway,
gonna be there.
aside from tick handling and cat handling,
Yeah, been an interesting week. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
all good with you
Boon,
in
yeah,
your world?
all good, all happy. Yeah, looking forward to a weekend, an extra couple of days this weekend to play around in the studio and do some music.
Yes, but it has felt like a Saturday today, and because the football was
threw
on
me.
as well. And
Totally
then,
threw me.
Yeah, and then I thought, oh, hang on a minute, I've got a show to do. So anyway, welcome. Good to
Yes.
have you as always.
Nice to be here.
As we said, or as you know from the show title and all the announcements that we've made and they've made, we've got Cherry Audio on again. It seems like we get these people on quite often, and we're not complaining, because if they're on the show, it means they've given us a new toy to play with, and boy, have they given us a new toy. Let's see. We've got three of them to choose from. Who do we go with first? I think we'll go with the most attractive one.
Careful.
Mal Meehan.
Hey, look at that. I'm a winner.
Yay!
Sexy Mel.
There
How
you go.
you doing, Mal?
I'm all right. I'm rallying.
Good. Nice shirt.
Thank you. It's tiki.
Both of them, actually. 'Cause obviously, one's topical, and the other one's graphical.
Tropical.
Well,
Tropical. Oh, there you go.
Come on.
Tropical and
Say what you
topical.
see. It's
Absolutely.
a bullseye.
Yeah. So I normally ask you, are you now relieved that you've got something out there? But you're probably in the middle of the next one, aren't you? So
I mean, I'm on to the next one. I'm on to the two ahead. So, yeah.
2 ahead. Wow.
Yeah.
You can be on next week as well, I think. At this rate. Anyway, good to see you as always. Thank you. Of course, Mal Meehan, the guy who's behind all of the visual aspects and the design aspects of what you see on screen. And he's very good at that. And we're going to speak to him about some of the aspects of the new Cherry Audio synth, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Of course, synthesizers are all not just about how they look, but of course how they sound. And the guy that heads up the sound design team over at Cherry Audio has joined us this week, and he's recently had some. I'm not sure. Can I say you're recovering?
Go for it. Yeah.
You're recovering.
Yeah. I had a hip replacement. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
As my friends at Melbourne Instruments say, I'm twice as hip now. I have 2 hips.
Oh,
two replacements.
Yeah, but I remember when hip replacements used to take ages, and you'd be in hospital for weeks and weeks, and now it's kind of like almost. My mum had one. It's
I was
in and
home
out
the
job.
same day. Yeah,
Yeah,
walking
yeah.
the first day.
good
I
for
mean, it's
all, isn't it?
painful, but it's a lot
Yeah.
better than it used to be.
Well, we're glad that it's been done, that it's successful, and that you're on the mend. You've just literally come back from a physio session, you said earlier.
Yeah, right before I just got in here about
Wow.
half hour before this.
Yeah, that's commitment. As and Robert's saying in the chat, we can rebuild it. We have the technology. He will be. He's the bionic man.
It's
Welcome.
true.
And we'll obviously talk to you about the sound design for this new synth, but I want to talk to you about that Oscar claim that's behind you. Look at that, kids.
I know.
Tell
Thank
us-
you
just tell
for
us a little bit
helping me
about that.
spend more money.
Oh, no, you're welcome.
I have an original Oscar, and Ali Cassidy replaced all the pots and put in the Bob Grebe MIDI board in it right before she left. Probably 4 hours before she flew back to Ireland, she was still working on my Oscar. Wow. And so when I saw this thing come up, I was just like, man, I want a backup.
Mm-hmm.
And the Oscar's in pretty good shape now, but they're finicky and kind of delicate and old, and this thing is rock solid. It's metal. I think it's better than the original as far as build quality, and it's actually larger. It's like an inch larger all the way around or
Right.
so. And the joystick people complained about, but I like these little joysticks.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically the same joystick, and the original Oscar you had up and down on modulation. It wasn't like most mod wheels, so you could go either direction anyway, and I find the joystick works fine for that.
Nice.
So I'm not criticizing that at all.
And sound-wise, is it bang on the money?
I got to put them side by side. My Oscar still doesn't have the knob caps on it.
Okay.
She didn't finish that part, and I haven't put them in. And but funny, these knob caps fit my Oscar, so they've gone to pretty good detail.
wow.
Probably the original ones, or they copied them really well. It sounds like it to me. I mean,
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. So, because you're blaming us for helping you spend the money. It's because our good friend Roger Lyons. Roger Lyons went and bought one. He was out there on tour with Left Field, I think, and picked his up. He'd been banging on about it for ages. So
he helped me out a little bit too.
Maybe we get you and him on the show, and as
that would be fun.
Respective owners, that would be a fun one. Yeah.
If you got Allie on there, it'd be great because she knows those machines really well.
Let's do that.
Yeah,
because she's on the same time zone as us.
I need to talk to her. I have her mini pops. Right. I need to get that back to her.
Cool. We'll let's do that. We'll make a note and we'll sort something. That'll be a very fun time. Excellent. So we've got the visuals, we've got the sound. Now we get to the technical person who pays all the wages.
The Oscar, the only synth you can drop from 6 foot and it improves it.
I know a few others.
Let's bring in Cherry Audio's head honcho. It is the one and the only, the inimitable, the formidable Dan Coleman. There we go.
Formidable. Wow, that's
formidable.
A new Hi.
Also wearing a splendid Crumar shirt.
Well, we have to represent, don't we?
Absolutely. And of course, you always have the original hardware next to you, which we're delighted. Is this from your collection?
Yes, and it's a beast. It's so heavy. It's so big. It's so overbuilt. It's the Crumar DS-2.
And
I love it.
Beautiful. It featured on the front of Mike Metlay's Synth Gems book.
That's right.
I'm sure you've got a copy right there. You go.
There it is.
That's how beautiful.
We teased this. Robert was posting over and over that our next instrument is a real synth gem. And nobody got it. Nobody got it. But it's right there on the cover. It's right on the cover of the book.
Fantastic. The crew. So this is your second Crumar recreation, yeah?
Yes.
The first one being the Spirit.
We did the Spirit last year, and now the DS2.
A part of a kind of collaboration with the rejuvenated brand of Crumar, isn't it? How does that kind of work out? You know, do they approach you and say, "Hey, we'd like you to do one of our synths," or do you approach them and say, "Can we do?" How does that work?
We approach them. I love the DS2. It's such an oddball synth. It's exactly the kind of thing that I love in my collection. And so I approached them and said, "Hey, we want to do a DS2. We'd love to put the Crumar name on it." And they are such fans, or so passionate about the history of Crumar. They just absolutely appreciate getting the name out there and getting the history out there. They had no objection whatsoever. They were totally on board with it.
Excellent
which is
stuff.
Awesome.
No, that's good. That's really good. What we'll do is we'll play in case anyone hasn't seen this or heard this, we'll play the little trailer, and then we'll get into talking about it in greater detail. And let me just find the video. Here it is. Let's go. There you go. Available now for $59 of your US dollars. It's the brand new Cherry Audio Crumar DS-2. If you don't know what a DS-2 is, I'm about to ask the question that hopefully will answer that. Dan Goldstein, what is a DS-2? What sets it apart? What makes it such a unique instrument?
Everything sets it apart. The DS-2, it's the Crumar digital synthesizer 2, but it's not digital in the way we think of a digital synthesizer today, but it's also not digital in the way that we think of something like a DCO synthesizer. It was 100% the wrong instrument at the wrong time. It came out in 1978 when the Prophet 5 hit. Everything about it is so interesting. It's such an interesting synth, and it was so future looking in the way that it worked. You'll find all over the internet, you'll find people talking about it having DCOs, and that's because on the front panel it says digital controlled under the oscillators, but they are not DCOs. They're not DCOs in the way that a Juno 60 or Juno 106 or any or an AX80 or any of those sort of things would be. It's a completely ahead of its time approach to make a stable oscillator synthesizer, and then for some reason it has a poly. Like they sometimes call it a string section, but really it's a sawtooth wave section. It's two synths in one, this poly organ sawtooth string thing, and these really interesting, bizarre, digital-ish oscillators, and they put it all together in this enormous package that weighs 1,000 pounds and is built into a flight case and has these huge knobs on it that click when you move them, and I just love it. Sounds great. It's totally different than anything else, and we just had to do it. We had to do it.
So those digital or digitally controlled, supposedly digitally controlled oscillators, they do it differently to like everybody else, which results in this kind of heavily stepped kind of waveform, which of course then lends character to the sound.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, especially, I mean, the sawtooth wave, the triangle wave, it's so full of weird harmonics because unlike any sort of analog oscillator, it's not making smooth waveforms. What it's doing is it's got 32 samples, 32 values that are then, we think, run through a digital to audio converter to create these stepped waveforms. Exactly, that's great. But they are not samples in the way that you would think of a sampled instrument. There's no ROM chip that has these sample values. The way it actually works, it's really kind of amazing. There are a bunch of adding logic chips, and what they're doing is over and over and over again, they are calculating out these 12-bit values for the 32 steps again and again, the same calculations over and over and over again to generate these waveforms. And the higher up you play on the keyboard, the faster this math is occurring. But because it's 1978, they didn't think to store these values in a ROM chip. They actually thought it was easier to just kind of have it be a calculator that's sort of constantly calculating these numerical values and feeding them to a DAC. So you can think of it as a very kind of low fidelity sampler with these stepped waveforms, but they sound so cool and so different than anything else you've heard, and yet they also accomplish their goal of not, they don't drift. The tuning is perfect, which in 1978 was really uncommon. And then on top of that, they have this poly section, which is generated by a top octave divide down system where they're blending together multiple octaves to create something that's kind of like a sawtooth wave. And, again, they just threw all this technology at it, and it's just wild. It sounds so cool. Very different.
And the thing that I instantly see, and I guess it's because we as human beings are instinctively tuned into finding faces in everything, was this. It's the pitch bend section that was that deliberate? Do you know that was deliberate?
I'll tell you something. I don't know. We spoke to Leonardo Gabrielli at the Italian Synth Museum, and we spoke to the owner of Crumar, and almost nobody knows anything about the history of the DS-2. It's all sort of lost. No one really knows where this instrument came from, who worked on it, who designed it. Unfortunately, unlike the Crumar Spirit, which is really well documented, we were never able to find out much about this, but clearly that was the intention. And right down to this pitch bender, which is unlike anything you'd find on any other synth.
Well, it's like the Oberheim OB1, but 90 degrees.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah.
But it's much better this way because it makes you happy.
It does. It does make you happy. It does. On the original, you have the two knobs above the weird pitch bender. They set the octave of the poly section and they tune the poly section. Now, why do you need to have your poly synth controls right by your pitch bender? I don't know. Mal went and made some very, very smart changes to that design. And so we added the mod wheel and the pitch bend range knobs there instead. But we've kept, obviously, the spirit of the happy face, and it does make us happy. It does.
Absolutely. Because it's got a very unique layout on the panel here. This LFO and mixer section here is, I don't think I've seen that on many, if any, synthesizers. It makes you look at it and approach it in a completely new kind of way. Mal, if I can come to you, can you explain why that was? Was there any reasoning behind that design? I mean, obviously the original design, but also the way that you've interpreted it.
Well, when I saw, when you see that design, my initial reaction was like, well, that's a very rudimentary modulation matrix. And so straight away my brain is ticking, thinking, well, we can, if we allowed the user to change. Oh, hang on, somebody's trying to slack me. Russell is trying to slack me.
Slack me, baby.
Does he not know?
Is this the visual sort of hook? This one's trying to pull you off screen.
That's it.
Off stage. Come on.
Russ is our coder that basically takes all my graphics and he puts it into our IDE engine and
Makes it work.
Makes it work. Yeah. And then Dan codes all the DSP stuff. Anyway, so I lost my train of thought now. Anyway, so straight away I'm thinking, well, hang on, we've got these preset destinations in the original synth, and I'm like, well, we can make this into a matrix, modulation matrix, and not have to change anything on the synth. Not, you don't. I mean, I added an extra, I think there's only 5 on the original. I added 6, but it was just there for me to do. It was like really easy. I mean, this whole synth is a beautiful. I mean, it's Italian designed. Yeah. It's beautifully designed. It's big. It's bold. It's brash. It's everything that you want. I love, the older the synth, the better for me to design with it, because it just has a classic look to it. So that was really, where that came from. And I moved. You'll see that the lower one is the poly section modulation. I moved that into the poly section and stuff, so that it gave us 6 unique modulation matrix slots.
Yeah.
But it's a fun thing, and of course what you can do, let Dan explain this a bit more, but what you can do is you can stack the LFOs, so you can route LFO 1 into LFO 2, and that just, I mean, this thing has a lot of modulation capabilities for a synth that looks very simple, and I just augmented that really.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as we mentioned, this has a very unique sound in terms of the fact that it's got these amazing waveforms that shouldn't work but do really, and they're very very characterful. So when it comes to sound designing, James, what challenges did you face, or did you face, and what things did this kind of bring out of you in terms of sound design, and you and your team?
It was different. I think every instrument you have like a bonding period where you feel your way around and kind of get an idea where the sweet spots are. I don't know. It was tough. It took me a good week to really get in there, and Mike Martin had also mentioned the same thing. He liked it, but it took him a while to kind of figure out what sounds good, and you're exploiting sometimes you exploit the weaknesses of a synth, and sometimes you have a strong point where it's obvious, like a Jupiter 8, it's pretty obvious. Anything almost sounds good. But this one you have to work a bit for it. But it is unique, and I don't know anything else that sounds like this except for maybe my Oscar Gleeman, or my Gleeman Pentaphonic. It has kind of the same sort of aliased or kind of ringy waveforms, and I'm glad that Mal added the sine wave, because that, to me, it really shows off how ringy that can be. The triangle and the sines are very bell-like. Like you play down low, you can really hear those harmonics come out. I thought it lended itself to more of an industrial feel. Micah did this track that kind of reminded me a bit of Nine Inch Nails, and we kind of went with that direction. I went to more of a colder industrial, more aggressive sound for those demo tracks. But sound design, I've done so many of these, it's hard. I just kind of go with it. I have like my go-to, meat and potatoes that I do for the factory stuff, and then I start spending more time on more of elaborate stuff. Like more like James Dyson tends to go off, and I love to do that, but it's time consuming for me. And I just need to get a bunch of presets in there that are really musical, and then trickle in the more elaborate or obscure, type things.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan, I want to come back to you because I want to know if you can explain to our viewers what this little section is up here in the top right-hand corner.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's something that Mal's been incorporating into most of the mono synths that we turn into polysynths. It's the multi-mode section. And what it does is it's essentially the equivalent of poly chaining four different mono synths together. Right. So you can modify a bunch of parameters. In this case, you've got the oscillator pitch, the stereo panning, the filter cutoff, the VCA release time, and in this instrument, unique to this instrument, is the VCA delay, which is something that Mal added to both of the envelope generators in this synth. So you can actually delay the individual voices so they come in a little bit later when you push the keys, which is just really cool. And so by combining essentially four virtual mono synths together, all tuned a little bit differently, you can both make really fat and interesting sounds, and you can also make things that are very melodic. As you press the keys, they can sort of play through these four patterns in different ways. And that's all the modes that you have: the cycle loop, the ping pong, the random mode. Or you can play them all in unison mode for this gigantic unison mode, where the individual instruments, all the individual voices are detuned the way or stereo pan the way you want them to be. It's really very cool. There's also on the left side, there's the poly touch section, which hasn't gotten a lot of attention, but of course this is both mono and poly aftertouch, which can be assigned to four different places, the same routing destinations as the LFO mixer, allowing for, just a ton of really, really expressive, cool stuff that, of course, was not on the original synth.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the best things about these instruments, is that you can now start incorporating new ideas into an old concept and just bring it, kicking and screaming into the present day. Andrew, you were obviously part of the sound design team, as you have been for the last few releases. How did you find programming for this? Because I know that sometimes when you approach these things, it takes a little while for it to kind of click. Was this an instant click, or did it take some time?
I think, like James and probably Mike, it took me a while to bed it in. I was deeply puzzled by it at first, and I think primarily because it's one of the very few synths anywhere out there that I've not seen in real life. I've never had one in front of me, not even really aware of it before this came in through the email. Is here's a new thing for you. So initially I didn't quite understand it, and it took me about a week, 10 days before I did. And I'd started off, I think James will tell you, I started off doing, it's always nice to have some sort of idea of what your collection, your sound preset collection is going to be. And I was originally going with Clockworks as a theme because of all the LFOs. And I kind of fairly quickly realised that actually there is a really beautiful side to this synth as well. There's this really, really rich, there's so much movement available in this. So I kind of moved a little bit and started doing things that were a little bit more real world, analog, if you will, and organic. And in the end, I loved it. It was one of those where at first it took a while to pull a patch together and be happy with it. By the end, I was just throwing them out the door because it just came really, really easily. I love the sound of this thing. Really love the sound of it.
It's a very, very lovely sound because it's quite unlike anything else that's really kind of out there because of that. It's very nature of the way it does it. Talking of sounds, also James Dyson has put together another 100 presets that you can buy from Cherry Audio for just $9.99. And at the current exchange rate, that makes it quite cheap for us.
I was going to mention James because he's done some videos for this, showing off how some of his presets, he just keeps expanding on them, changing different parameters of a single preset, and you see just how usable it is. He's done a remarkable job with that. And I know James Terris and I were swapping patches. I was basing stuff off of some of his and then taking it somewhere else and vice versa.
Yeah, that drum sound you made was great. I called it Phil's
that
drums or something like that. It sounded like, In the Air Tonight when you hit all that reverb, and it has this, I don't know, it's something about it, like you said, it sounds so organic. And Andrew's great at the organic stuff. It's some of the stuff you pull out, I'm like, wow, I wouldn't have thought to do that. And we share patches and co-author them or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So lots of credits going on there. But yeah, both James Terris and James Dyson did an amazing job on this.
Yeah, I've caught some of James's streams on that as well. Really nice.
Yeah.
He always goes live like almost every day, just as I'm like winding down from the day job and starting, this job and writing and stuff. I just have him on in the background, just noodling away. It's always very, very.
When does he sleep? That's what I want to know.
I don't think he does.
I don't think he does.
I don't think he does.
I don't think he's human.
He doesn't.
Even.
I'll send him an email at any time of day, and he'll respond in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Mad. But he's good. He's mad.
No, he
in a
is.
good way.
Yeah, we're lucky to have him.
Let's go back to the hardware and let's bring in Kent. I don't think I've ever heard you mention having one of these in the workshop, but I'm sure you have.
I've done loads of these.
Have you?
Yeah.
Are they easy to work on?
Relatively. Sometimes some of the faults are hard to find, but now these days they're full of CA3080s, which are like unicorn crap now. So there's a few weirdies. There's I think there's an LM307 in it that they use. I think it's for the noise generator, which are really, really hard to get hold of. It's mostly sourcing the parts, but it's a lovely machine to use. I like them. I do like them. I like the teardrop knobs.
Yeah.
I like that. But there's lots of things that seem to be quite unique about it, the way it's designed. Actually, there's a lot of similarity, I think, between this and the, funny enough, the Synthex's voice cards seem to be quite similar.
Well, because they were all very incestuous, the Italian synth manufacturers, weren't they? There was a lot
I wouldn't be surprised if people were going from one company over to the other and work there for a little while and then come back because they've eaten all the sandwiches and work somewhere else, whatever it is.
An indie break.
Yeah.
Dad at the cafe.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The secretary's got pregnant, right, but go to the other company now. That kind of thing. So, I mean, it's a hell of a beast. And if you got the lid on it as well, oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah.
But the one thing I did notice about it, it's square wave. That isn't square at all. But the slopes on it are the opposite direction to how they are on the CS80.
All right.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was, I thought, sort of that. It's weird how with the 80s they are analog and they couldn't get it right, but with digital they couldn't quite get it right, but for different reasons. See where that slope is? It's the opposite direction on an 80s square wave.
And the good news about that is there's the reverse switch on the LFOs, so that you can reverse that waveform. So it is the CS80 waveform.
Yeah.
It's a really good starting point for some of the sounds.
Yeah. Cool stuff. Jason, have you got any thoughts on this one? Have you had a chance to sort of listen, play around? Oh, Jackson.
That's my thoughts on it.
This is what Jackson thinks.
Kitty porn.
Oh dear. It's all right, Robbie. Robbie's just
No, but-
jealous.
Aren't we all?
Always. I
Give him
do
a
love.
biscuit, he might let you.
I do love the Italian synths. One of my first synths was a Gen SX1000. So again, talking about the sort of the incestuous nature of the industry in Italy. But yeah, the Crumar stuff. I've always had a soft spot for those synths, and Taisco as well. They're Italian, aren't they? Yeah. So yeah, but I haven't had 2 minutes this week yet to download even a demo to play with. But yeah, I love the sound of it. Love the sound of it. And I'm all for that era of digital synths that weren't quite right. You know, those artifacts, those kind of weird, quirky nature in the sound. DW8000 exactly. You know, those up to that point as well. Yeah, fan of that kind of era.
Nice. Good stuff. Yeah, so let's see. What else have we got? Have we got any questions coming in? Prometheus wants to know if Dan's Crumar still works. I presume it must do.
It does,
There's
yes.
your answer. There's
Yes,
your
it
answer.
does. It does. Although they are notoriously fragile instruments. And when I got mine, the poly section didn't work, which is not at all unusual on these things. But it turned out, I dug into it, and it turned out to be a bad socket. There was nothing actually physically, like all the chips and parts were good, but there was a chip and a socket, and the socket had a microscopic little crack and did not make good contact with the chip. There are, you know, they are kind of notorious when you find them. They only made 700 of these things, supposedly, and when you find them, they often have little flaws and glitches, but because they're so big, they're easy to open up, they're easy to work on, and at least for the issues that I've had with mine, they were relatively easy to fix so far.
Nice. Of course, we mentioned at the top of the show that it was April Fool's Day a few days ago, and you guys, or shall I say Robert, I'm assuming it was Robert that was behind this, pulled off a really good one, and in fact I want to know, how this would possibly go down. In a surprise expansion of our empire, Robert says, we're pleased to announce today our acquisition of the ProSynth network. Tune into the live show this Friday with our guests, Robbie, Andrew, and Scott. You missed Jason. As we discuss our questionable schemes, we may also talk about the Crumar DS-2. Of course, we are doing that as well. Attendance is mandatory. See you then. Absolutely. My only complaint about that is that Robert didn't contact us ahead of doing that, because we could have really played up on that. We could have really done a big thing on that. But the last time we did an April Fool's, it was some years ago, and it was kind of similar to the one that Jason pulled. I'm assuming that was an April Fool, wasn't it?
Was it?
The letter? I don't know. Was it? I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know.
It was kind of related to that, because I posted a picture up saying that the ProSynth network had been acquired by Behringer. And it was now the Behringer Synth network, and I did the logo and everything, and I just assumed that everybody would get it, laugh, move on. My phone rang off with seriously people who I would have thought would have realised what day it was, saying, "What the hell's going on?" And they're really upset. And I said, "Dude, date? What's the date?" So yeah, I've always been a little bit, reticent to do them again in case I give the wrong impression. So anyway,
that's fun though, isn't it? That's the
it
fun
is,
part of it.
But I thought that one was a really good one. So hats off to Robert. Well done, because that was a good one. Got me for a second. And actually, somebody did mention, I do want to know this. When's my paid vacation? And yeah, because I could do with some time off.
Tell me
all
about
employees all employees are employed on a voluntary basis for free, for no pay. That's the contract I got.
Indeed, yeah, it's a contract. Yeah, and it's double time on Easter, so you get what's double nothing. Yeah.
You have to double the hours for
Indeed.
us with less pay. No pay.
Talking of Robert, who, as always, does an incredible job of handling all the marketing and doing all this, keeping people like me informed with all the information ahead of time and images and all that kind of stuff. He's also, bless him, gifted 5 Pro Synth Network YouTube memberships. So I don't know who received those, but thank you ever so much. That's very generous of you, and I hope those people go in, dig in, and fill their boots with all of the free stuff that we get, or give, should I say. Right, so we're at 1:45. What haven't we covered? Anything? Have any of you guys, Andrew, Kent, Jason, have you got any questions for these gents at all? Or anything you would like to mention about this particular instrument?
Not particularly about this instrument, but how do you go about sort of modelling a synth? What is it that attracts you to that instrument? I mean, this is quite an interesting sort of almost left field. Obviously the Jupiter 8, for instance. I mean, that's understandable. But how do you find the more rare? And do you specifically look for rare and interesting synths to model?
Well, so I look for interesting synths to collect, and I've got a very large collection of these things. The DS2 is one that I always thought would be an ideal Cherry Audio instrument because it's so steampunk looking. Yeah. I thought it would be such a neat visual challenge for Mal to take on. There's a lot packed into it. Like you look at it and you think, well, there aren't that many controls on it. Maybe it doesn't do that much. But in fact, it's one of the really rare synths from that era that had multiple LFOs, and you could combine those LFOs together to do all kinds of weird modulation. And then, the sound of it is just so unique. To be honest, I didn't really know why it sounded so unique until I got it onto a scope and I started to realize, this is not DCOs. This is not, what everybody says it is. The internet is full of people saying this is a DCO-based synth with a string section. It's not a string section in any sense. There's no chorus effect. There's nothing that you'd find on a typical string synth. It's just so bizarre. And then you listen to the pulse width modulation on this, and it's unlike anything you've ever heard before. And so, to me, that just screams Cherry Audio because I like the oddball synths, and our customers really tend to like when we do things like this that they've never heard of. We always worry about doing things that are a little too obscure, but at least historically, whenever we do these sorts of things, people are always like, yes, do more of this. We want more of this. So this will not be our last oddball synth that you've probably never seen. That's for sure.
But that's what sets you guys apart because, all right, so you've done big synths like the Jupiters, the 6, the 8, the 4. But you also do this stuff where there's going to be lots of people out there, with all due respect, that had no idea that this thing existed, right, and now have been introduced to this. And hopefully we'll go off and explore more of what Crumar and Elka and all of those other oddball Italian synth, because it was a crazy kind of little world that we had up there in Italy. And they're starting to, obviously Crumar are back as a brand. They're obviously just doing more of the organ-focused stuff. It would be lovely to see if they maybe come up with something new synthesizer-wise. But obviously, we don't know that. And
it's funny you mentioned the Gen SX1000. I had one for a short period of time.
Did you?
I had a friend in a band called The Faint. His name's Jacob, or was Jacob, and he always talked about I always wanted one, and so I found one. And it wasn't quite working, and I took it to Greg Montalbano, who just usually would do Profits and Oberheims, and he worked on pretty much anything I'd bring him, except for Moog. He wouldn't touch him. And he's like, it's dead. He's like, there's a chip in there. You're never going to find that chip. And so I'm like, oh, that's a shame. It was mint. It had a really awesome filter, but it did have that kind of alias sound, and I never really thought about it back then. Yeah. So I stuck it in, now my wife, but my girlfriend's car, and the next morning we woke up and we went out there and paperwork was all over. I'm like, what happened? And someone had jimmied the door, didn't break a window or anything, and stolen this thing that they probably ended up throwing in a trash can because it didn't work.
Wow.
When they got it. I was so bummed.
Frustrating.
But the only thing that they did leave is they had they had these white overlays.
Cards, the overlay cards.
Cards where you could mark, like a Buchla or something, where you could, or some old synths would have these, and I had those, so I gave that to him. It's the only thing that survived. But I bought it for like $250.
Yeah.
And it was a nice sounding synth.
I think I paid £50 for mine.
Has anybody
a real
played,
bargain.
Has anybody played the Shrinks 508, the Gen Shrinks 508? Anybody played
I
that?
never saw those. Yeah.
Well, I think they made 10, and I owned 2 of them at one point.
Oh,
wow! It's like the Gleeman. I had 2 at one point.
Yeah, and
I'll be round.
It was a poor man's Poly 6, but it was interesting. It was. I eventually. It sold with 5 voice cards and 3 empty slots. That was the 508. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I managed to get a cache of these cards, and I ended up selling the cards on eBay for like $1,000 a pop.
Wow.
Yeah. I basically ended up with just 2 shells with no voice cards because I made I made 10 grand.
Yeah.
It's funny how some of those accessories go for more than the synth. Like even the cartridges for like Corgan ones. I mean, sometimes people want like $200 for them, and you add all those cards together, and it's more than.
I said to my wife that if I go, if I was to pop my clogs right now, the first thing she should sell is my box of cartridges, because I've got loads of like rare ones for the the DX7s. I've even got some Roland ones in there. And you go on eBay, and people are asking £200, sometimes £300 for a cartridge, the contents of which are freely available as a SysX download.
No, totally.
Of course.
Funny.
And even the adapters. I was looking for the. There's an adapter that converts Mark 1 DX7 cartridges to Mark 2, the ADP-1, and then there was an ADP-2 which converted Mark 2 cartridges into SY card slots. So you have these different generations that you could step from to, with the cartridge adapters, and those adapters, which are just bits of plastic essentially. I mean, certainly the ADP one, just a bit of plastic with, I'm sure, with just some wiring that just maps to the right pins. It's nothing. There's no technology inside.
Well, you get stuff like this that people make later.
Oh yeah,
so
I've
this
got
is
some of those.
An M1 card, and I
I've
have
got that
Dan's M1 rack here, so I can test all these original patches. So everything's in here. All these cards are on here.
Talking of which, James.
I know you got to get me that. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I'll get that over. We'll get that over to you.
So apparently, they won't ship some things to the U.S. now because of tariffs and all this and what they fund. So Andrew was kind enough to buy a drum emulator, modification kit for me.
Yeah, I've got some of those Hypersynth cards. I've got 2 in the DX, the DX1 stroke DX5. I've got that one, same ones you've got for the M1 rack.
Yeah, and it works for WaveStation, I think, as well.
Yeah, and they are just. I mean, when you think about the capacity and you look at how, yes, initially they're expensive. Some of them can be sort of $200-300, but when you compare that to buying the original cards on eBay, you'd spend probably 10 times that to get the same capacity as one of these. So they do make financial sense, and of course they're modern technology and very easy to access the contents. Robert made me aware of this. My colleague Adam Douglas over at Gear News did publish this today, which is I feel like I'm being cheated on, because Adam spoke to Dan about the Cherry Audio synths that model stuff, and you got the Crumar, obviously the DS2, you got the Chroma, the SH Max, the PS3300, and the Jupiter 8, etc. And it's a really cool article where Dan goes into some details about each one of those synths. So you can go and check that out over at gearnews.com. So well done, Adam. Thank you for that. Let's see, what have we got? What's the time now? Oh, we've all disappeared, and we're back again. So we're about an hour through the show. Oh, and Jackson's
just a little side note. I've been sitting there getting more and more bloody uncomfortable, and I've repositioned myself, and it really hurt. And I reached down, and I had a CS80 envelope generator stuck in my house.
Episode 3.
I hate my job.
Where else? Where else can you get that? On a
hate
Friday. On Good Friday.
Oh, it really, really hurts now.
The human machine connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is
It's a direct
the
interface.
CS8.
Need new it now.
So DS2 is available now. It's $59 US. Just going to ask you. I mean, you don't have to answer this one, but you seem to have dropped the whole intro price thing and just gone with this is the price. It's cheap as chips anyway. Is that a permanent thing now as far as Cherry Audio concerned? It's just like one price, no messing.
We have never in our history done intro pricing. We've always just had very good prices from day one. And we do bundles where you can get 3 products for $99 and 6 products for $150.
Yeah.
But we've actually never done intro pricing.
That's weird because I'm sure that you used to do this kind of like, maybe.
A lot of the time when we would release a product, it would get announced by the media as an introductory price, because that's what a lot of companies do. Right. But that's never been our way. We always we price everything as low as we possibly can, because our goal is to get these products into the hands of musicians. And of course, we know, I mean, look, if the people in this show have not had their hands on a DS2, then it's very unlikely that most musicians out there have ever been in the room with a DS2. It's an unusual synth. Yeah. And, the whole purpose of Cherry Audio, our entire philosophy is, these instruments shouldn't just be sitting on a shelf in a collection like mine. They should be played and enjoyed by everybody. And that's what we try to do.
Absolutely. And somebody asked, how do you choose, what you do next? I think Dan just goes, that one.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, look, we've been on the show 100 times now, and you always ask, why this one? And I wish I could say, we've got a roadmap for years and years ahead. But a lot of the time, it's me asking Mal and Robert and James, hey, what do I kind of feel like doing this. What do you guys think? Yeah. That's really what it comes down to. There's, whatever's inspired us.
It's clearly working.
What about the Tysco 400SX?
Yeah, Tyscos would be good.
That would be nice.
I've never owned one or seen one. Lovely. So that's probably...
I have very, very fond memories of going to Rose Morris and Shaftesbury Avenue, and you had to go upstairs, and they had all the Tysco synths out.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
I got 2 in the garage. I might get one working, and you can model it.
There you go.
That would be fantastic.
That's what we want to hear.
I owned a Tysco 110F, which is very much like an ARP Odyssey clone, I guess you'd say. And I used to have it. It was mint. It was beautiful, and it sat on top of a Fender Rhodes that was on a keyboard on an X stand, on a double braced X stand. And one day, the weight of the Fender Rhodes was too much for the X stand, and it came crashing down, and it sort of dented up my poor Tysco 110F, and I ended up selling it.
You have bad luck with that stuff.
Almost never.
Like
but
the synth, what was it behind you? The Matrix or one of those? Yeah,
I did. I had an ARP string ensemble, a Selena, in a custom wooden case that was very, very heavy, and it did once fall from the highest shelf behind me. It was fine. It was totally fine, but it did take out a couple keys of other synths on the way down, all of which has been repaired.
I've got to take that 80 downstairs in 3 weeks, so I'll get back to you. You'll probably feel better about yourself.
When we were at Synth East in Norwich in February, Peter had brought his JX10. Lovely big, and there was a couple of little minor faults with it, and we were breaking down the thing because they need to get us out quite quickly there because the shut off time and the prep time they need for the gig that follows is quite a narrow window. So we were all kind of rushing around. And unfortunately, the JX10 was on the top tier of a 2-tier stand, What was on the? He had the Jupiter X on the bottom. He took the Jupiter X off first, and the JX10 just went hit the wall, which was only about say 2 foot behind it. Hit the wall, slid. Thankfully, didn't like fall, free fall. It slid down, and apparently, when Peter got it home and tested it, it fixed the problem.
Kent, you don't let people find out you can do that.
I know, right?
That's bad for business.
Kent had
PB12.
He had the
Never,
PB12.
ever buy a what's
Chinese,
supposed to be a I think it was from Temu for 80 quid.
Yeah.
Because it was like this. First night I set it all up, and I'm downstairs and watching a bit of telly with Fiona, and suddenly I hear this bang. I come running upstairs. This has slowly tilted backwards and slid off, and it's gone all the way to the deck, completely fine.
And missed the MX8.
Miss it, yeah, but
The M8X,
I took it down and put it over there, and then about 5 hours later, there's another crash. This one had gone backwards and fallen off and all. I was expecting that one to go through the floor, though. Bloody
This
hell.
probably wasn't more expensive than that, Kent. This is IKEA shoe racks.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Those were very
Solid.
popular.
That's solid.
They don't make them anymore,
Look.
do they?
No, they don't. They don't
Yeah.
because people are buying them for their synths. Obviously, I'm not going to rock my CS15.
Yeah, don't do that. I've only ever had one incident, but nothing's ever fallen off. But I remember in my previous house, I remember sort of looking round and seeing my KX88, which I'd put on the Jaspers temporarily, just starting. It was just ever so slowly starting to go. I was just like, oh, quick, get. That was lucky. I thought the gods were on my side that day. Because if that goes, that's a heck of a thing. I think that was above the DX5, which wouldn't have been pretty. But there you go. Right, so we're at the top. Well, just gone past the top of the hour. We've got some announcements to make, and the first one is Cherry Audio related, because you may recall that we did this live event a couple of weeks ago, and I do have to say a massive thank you to Cherry Audio and to Robert as well for organising and sending us some stuff that we could sell on behalf of the organisations we were raising money for. So we had some T-shirts and we had loads of stickers that people were picking up and hopefully adorning their studios with. And they also donated some prizes. Now, we had 3 copies of this beauty, the Cherry Audio Synth Stack 6, which is everything that Cherry Audio have made up to but not including SH Max and DS2. And
Everyone else is very faint.
Sorry? Oh, sorry, I thought I heard something there. Yeah, so Synth Stack 6 was the prize. We gave 2 copies of that away to raffle winners. We did a raffle during the day event and we did a raffle during the evening event. And I'd also like to have spoke to Robert about an hour before we came on air, and he said that those 2 prize winners hadn't yet claimed their prize. I'm just like, it's the first thing I would do when I get home would be to claim that. It's $600 worth of synthesizer stuff. So to the 2 winners at the raffle, please do get your. I gave you your vouchers. All you got to do is just contact those people, and they will sort those packs out for you. But we had 1 remaining pack left over, and we decided to give that away to the winner of our patch from scratch competition using Cherry Audio's Mercury 8. And it was run during the day event of Synth South West. Andrew was there in the corner, like that. With his Mercury 8 all set up, and he was inviting people to come along and create some patches or a patch and enter it into the competition. And I thought, why don't we get Cherry Audio to judge it and ask about it or tell us about it? And we did. We sent them all the patches, all of which will be made available as a free download for everyone. There's not just for our patrons. Everyone will get this. We'll put this out in the next week or so. And so we have the winner, and we also had a runner-up who unfortunately, I say unfortunately, I don't think we've got a prize for them, but certainly the winner will get a copy of Synth Stack 6. And there was an honourable mention in there as well. So let's bring these names up onto the screen. Then we can ask maybe what they liked about them. So the winner of the Mercury 8 patch from scratch is Mr. Ray Bellis for his patch Rendezvous Harp. Let's have a listen let's have a listen to what that is. I've just put a little arpeggio together with that patch. I think we can hear definitely where the inspiration comes from in the name there, but it was a great patch, really nice to play. The runner-up was Matt Player, and his patch was called the Matt Player Sound. There was no actual name for that one. And the honourable mention goes to Nick, who we have no other information other than his email address, which we're not going to put up on screen. Nick designed a patch called Acid Glitch, and that was a cool one as well. So those are the people that Cherry Audio thought stood out the most. And of course, Ray was the one that won the contest and the competition. So congratulations to Ray Bellis for that.
I'm quite intrigued to hear the Matt sound.
I didn't have time. I only had time to do a little demo of that one, but we will make that patch available along with all the other Mercury 8 patches, and you can then play around with them. Some really good ones in there, some very interesting ones. But Dan, thank you for I can't remember. Did you ever listen to the mail as well? And James,
all three of us. The way we did it, our methodology was that we all took all the patches and we independently made our top 3 lists, and then we scored. Each patch that was ranked number 1 got 3 points, number 2 got 2 points, the third place got 1 point, and then we added them up and we came up with the winner. Both Mal and I both picked the Rendezvous Heart patch to be in first place. We both like that, and all three of us put the Matt Player patch on our list. We all enjoyed that one quite a bit as well.
Yeah, it's a delicate thing, but also with the velocity, it was a very nuanced patch. I did like that one. Very good.
The Matt Player sound.
I think people they only had 10 minutes to create these. I gave them a bit of time. I showed them around and gave them some tips and help if they needed it. But essentially, I put a set of headphones on them, turned down the speakers, and let them get on with it. And then at the 10-minute mark, and so those are all being created in 10 minutes, which is great.
Yeah. At the 10-minute mark, you would turn around and go, ah! And you knew your time was up in more ways than one.
More ways than one.
Can I just say, Andrew, you were so well branded. I've never seen the joggers before. Look at that. Like, literally. You just need a hat, really. But I mean, ultimately, well branded, son. Well
a tattoo.
Absolutely.
And a coffee mug.
Bubble hat. Definitely a bubble hat.
Well, I had this there as well. But
I want socks. I want PSN socks, but our company don't do them.
Aw.
How about sweatbands?
Sweatbands is going to be the way forward.
Yeah.
I've got some Dreadbox sweatbands somewhere.
No, that's a good idea.
Cool, yeah.
They Dreadboxed it a few years back.
Cherry stuff as well.
So, Ray Bellis, you're getting a copy of this, and I think they might be chucking in some extra little bits as well. But I will contact you. I have your email address. I will contact you and send you over the instructions on how to contact Robert, who will sort you out with your Synth Stack 6, and to the other winners who know who you are. I know one of them personally, so I'm going to berate them over the weekend and say, why haven't you claimed this yet? Silly. So yeah, please get in touch with Robert. All the details are on the form that I gave you when you won. So there we go. We've given away 3 Synth Stack 6 courtesy of these wonderful people at Cherry Audio. Thank you so much for supporting our event. It was great, and we thoroughly appreciated everything you do, as did or will the recipients of the proceeds. So what we decided, Pete and I, was that this would be completely not for profit, and if we made any money off of this, we would gather it up and we would split it. We split it 3 ways. To the Strand Community Centre, which is a charitable organisation. That's the venue we use during the day, so we gave them a chunk of the proceeds. And then what was left over, we split into 2, and we are giving half of it to the Bob Moog Foundation and half to the Alan R. Perlman Foundation. And both of those organisations received that money yesterday. and I've spoken to both Michelle and to Dina, and they are super delighted. So I'm very delighted to announce that the total amount that we raised for those organisations, that will be split in half, was £1,200. Well, actually, it was 1,100 and something, and I just topped it up to 1,200 because it's a nice figure. So we had £1,200 that we have split. So it's £600 to the Bob Moog Foundation and £600 to the Alan R. Perlman Foundation. And that works out, it's about $760 each. So there you go. We've hopefully made a little difference to those organisations and the work that they do. Speaking to Dina, hopefully Dina is going to be joining us over in Berlin at Superbooth along with Michelle. So they'll both be there. And I'm going to try and do that one. I can't do the big ones because I can't fit it in my suitcase, but I'm going to try and do some sort of like presentation check. And we'll have a picture and we'll hand over the check or something. Because that's what you do. So, 600 quid each. So I was very happy. Honestly, I thought I'd be splitting like £10.50 after we paid, because we had to pay for venues and insurance. We had to pay for the sound and lighting guy. We had to pay for the theatre. We had to pay the ticket company who processed all the tickets for us. So Peter and I have absorbed quite a bit of that. We pay for the merchandise, and we've not taken any all the profits from the merchandise gone into the pot. So we took a bit of a hit on that, but we're happy to because it got those organisations some cash. So we're very happy. And
So
of course,
cool.
massive thanks to Cherry Audio, also to Jeff Toman, who I think I might have forgotten last week with my thank yous. Jeff popped on. I've never met Jeff in person, but we've spoken for years. He did amazing work on custom synth restorations. You know, he's done loads of bands have had custom synths designed for them. I particularly remember, was it the Kaiser Chiefs? Everything that Peanut had was white. It was all white.
Yeah.
Everything, so he had everything done in white, and that was all Jeff Toman. But Jeff also took some of his graphics and made T-shirts. I've got a whole wardrobe full of Jeff Toman T-shirts. But he came to the show, and he had this box. He said, "There you go. You can sell those." And they are tote bags, but really good quality tote bags, but all synthesizer related, with brand names and diagrams and all sorts of wonderful things. We have some left over, so we will be taking those on the road with us and selling those and hopefully raising a little bit more money. So we had some wonderful donations from various places, and of course the wonderful Fiona, of course, and her Carvera machine making our desk art, our illuminated desk art, which we sold a few of. So all of that went into the kitty, along with the raffle tickets and the the door entry money that we took in, and we were able to raise that. So very happy that we actually had something substantial to give back to the organisations. Right, that's that. Also need to say hello to Stephen Rooney, who has just received on his birthday from his lovely wife a ProSynth Network T-shirt. There you go. That's all you need on your birthday, is a PSN T-shirt. Stephen sent that in to me yesterday. I promised I'd show that. So thank you very much. Enjoy the shirt. Looks like it fits very nicely. So she clearly knows your size. Thank you for promoting the brand. And of course, you can do that by visiting our merchandise store, which is at this address. There we go, prosynthnetwork.com/merch. You can buy all sorts of wonderful things, and I hope to be putting on what we have left over from Synth South West. So there's a few Synth South West t-shirts and a few Synth South West baseball caps that we still didn't sell all of. They'll all be going on the merch store soon, so they are limited. They will not be made that design anyway. They will not be made that anymore. So if you want a rarity, then I will make an announcement as soon as they go up on sale. Right, okay. It's time to have a look at a couple of other new things that have come out this week. It was funny because it's like nothing has been coming out for weeks and weeks, and then all of a sudden this week, 3 brand new synthesizer plugins came out, and they were all recreations of old classics. Of course, Cherry Audio's DS-2 was one. The other one that I got super excited about was this from Stride Audio.
If that
Now-
demo didn't say 1989, I don't know what does.
Exactly.
That
Yeah,
sound
exactly.
was like so 89.
You might remember that back in 2004, I had to double check that. It was in 2004, around July of 2004, that news first broke that a guy in Holland, I believe, was developing a plug-in version of the Yamaha SY77-99, which was, of course, the follow-up to the legendary DX range of synthesizers. And it was their kind of response to what Roland had done with the D50s. They got all digital, they brought samples in, they brought effects in. And the SY77 and 99 kind of carried on the FM part of their story and added in samples. And it's an amazing thing. And so, yeah, this broke in 2024, and I contacted the developer, and he said, yeah, I'm hoping to get it out maybe at the end of the year, if not early 25. And then it all just kind of went quiet. And I thought, okay, well, maybe this is, because he did tell me it was just him on his own doing this. I thought, oh yeah, maybe things have got too much other things. Life gets in the way of these things. Because he is a musician outside of this. He's got a lot of stuff on his website. And then all of a sudden, on April 1st, I thought, uh-oh, is this a joke? Because it could be, and it wasn't. Suede, as it's now known, because it was initially going to be called Sway, S-W-A-Y, which is kind of a play on the S-Y thing. Suede is now a thing. It's available. It's out there. It's $99 or €99, and it is, to all intents and purposes, a faithful recreation in software of what they call a famous 1989 synthesizer, because they don't want to get the lawsuit. But it is, of course, an SY77-99 architecture. So you've got the FM, the advanced FM, with all of the extra algorithms, because there was something like 45 algorithms as opposed to 6 on the previous DX series. And of course, they now contain way more than just a sine wave. They had 15 different waveforms. And of course, you could use samples as waveforms within the operators, using part of the RCM functionality. Plus, you had all the AWM samples in there. So layering and using both of these things together, it got very complex. And this is where somebody like Manny Fernandez, who was, excuse the pun, instrumental in kind of fathoming all of this out and bringing us amazing sound banks for those synthesizers back in the day. It's a complex beast, but this is the one FM synth I don't really know huge amounts about. I don't have one. I want one. I want an SY99, but I can never find one that's either in good condition, the right price, or whether I've got space in the studio to put it. But you might be wondering how they got around the whole sample thing, because obviously samples are copyrighted. So they have created what they say are approximations of the original hardware samples. So there was 112 of those, and they've tried to recreate all of those as accurately as possible, but are completely original. So they're not the original samples. Now, I would love to be able to say, yeah, they sound close or not close. I have no idea. I don't have that hardware there. I'm hoping that Manny will get to us at some point and let us know how good it is, or maybe not how good it is. But from the demos, and there are plenty of demos on there, both Sonic and there is a demo version of the application as well. You can go and download that now from strideaudio.com. I think Steve has posted that in the chat there. $99 or €99, available for Mac or Windows. It's a great thing. I mean, we did have some patches. Here's a little demo of some of the patches. I'll only play a few of these. There's a 5-minute video you can go and check on their YouTube account, but just have a listen to some of these. So you can go and listen to that and many more of the patch samples that are on the YouTube page that they have. So who wants to go for this first? Mal, you are a mad collector of synthesizers, like most of us here. Did you ever have the originals? And
no, I didn't.
No?
And I've always wanted an SY99 because it is the de facto keyboard for melodic rock.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, and I used to play in, I mean, my hair used to be down here, and I used to play in melodic rock bands. And so all my tracks that I make have an SY99 on it. Mostly I use UVI's sample set. But it's just got such a classic sound. And those bells, you know, if you listen to any melodic rock track, and as soon as the chorus hits in, you get that, the falling bell sound. So yeah, I love it. I mean, I probably will buy this without doubt. Yeah.
Yeah. I also like. I mean, from a graphical point of view, you are very, you are the guy. I quite like that interface. It's very. It's not only pleasing to the eye, but it's also incredibly. I want to say simple, but it's simplified, isn't it? I mean, it's just
very simple.
There's nothing there that doesn't need to be there, and everything that you need is there.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's a very nice interface, that. Let's see, Dan, do you have any SYs in your extensive collection?
I did. I believe I had an SY99. I'm a sucker for anything that has 3 wheels. You put 2 mod wheels on a synth and I'm going to buy it. I'll tell you, the thing about that era of synths is that they were internally very powerful, but they were really kind of let down by the screen and the interface. You know, the tiny little screens that they were black and white and hard to read, and they tried to put too much into it. I love the interface. I mean, just looking at it and thinking, all that power, but now you can access it, and it's clean and easy to see and easy to get to. It sounds great. That's a passion project. The guy who made this put a lot of work into recreating that and doing it right, and I love that. That's really, really cool.
I particularly like this, the FM routing matrix screen, which again kind of smacks a little bit of is it Traction's FM or F''EM with that kind of grid thing. I like that, and also the Leviathan
Leviathan,
has something like that as well. But it is very nice. Of course, you've got all the waveforms, the PCM waveforms in there. There's digital filter. There's this dynamic pan going on. There's loads of effects in there. There's 44 effects types, and lots of modulation capabilities in there as well. Andy, you obviously worked in many studios over the years, and I'm sure you probably came across and played a few of these.
Yeah, I mean, look, the funny thing is the SYs have got a really what's the word I'm looking for? Avid set of fans. There are people that are absolutely passionate about the SYs. I had the DX5, of course, and all various other DXs and TXs for the FM stuff, but they did have a sound to them. They were a pain to program, but no more so than the DXs. And I think this particular version of this, I think you're right. The interface on this, the GUI on this is really simple. It's a lot more accessible. I think it's gonna be pulling people into making changes and building or changing presets pretty quickly. I can see why you would. Price isn't bad either.
Yeah,
99.
99 is kind of just like in the sweet spot. It's not, it's not too expensive, and it's certainly not, too. Can you say too cheap? I mean, for something this is this capable, because everything else, as far as the SYs and the TGs are concerned, has been like almost 100% sample based. Nobody's kind of bothered to do an FM and do it as pretty much as the original hardware was.
And I think because this is a one-man band that's been doing this, he's not likely to be bringing out another 60 of the different ones over the next year. So this is his project, his thing. Yeah. So I can understand why he's charging that. I hope he does well. It looks amazing.
What I can say is that I have hoovered up off the internet various SY and TG sound banks that have been around for 30 odd years, and they all upload. If they're in the SysX format, they all upload and they all play. I can't say exactly how accurate they are compared to the original hardware because I don't have it, but they sound pretty damn good and they work. So you've got some old SY and TG banks, they will work. And apparently if you have original waveforms, because there were additional waveforms that you could buy and use the cards, the slot cards to put it, so if it's in the original format from the original hardware, you can use those in here as well. So it's quite a powerful thing. James, do you have any thoughts on this one?
Man, I'm admittedly not the greatest FM programmer. We did FM station for Voltage Modular years ago, and that was when I really started kind of going through DX. I had this DX Bible, this big book, and I learned a lot, and it just never was my thing. A friend of mine just recently offered me an FS1R.
Yes.
And they're going for like $2,000. I should have asked Dan because he was going to give it to me for like $1,000 or something. And it's like, I'm not going to use this. It's just going to sit here with all my other stuff. And I probably should have taken him up on it. But I asked Manny, I said, do you know anything about this? Because I really don't know much about it. He's like, well, of course I do. I did all the factory demos and the first so many patches on it.
Yeah.
And maybe I should have bought it. But I just don't know much about these. Beyond the DX7,
Sure.
I just don't know much about these.
Yeah, the FS1R. I mean, I got mine some years ago, and it cost me about $900. I think it was on eBay for like $900, and I thought, well, I'll start off $750. See if he goes for $7. No, so, I got to that point where I used up all my chances. I just said, I need this, bang, and now they go for $2, maybe more.
$2 or US at least 2,000.
Yeah. Talking of Manny and the FS1R, obviously, he did a huge amount of work on that. He bought one just because they were only on sale for like 10 months. They were on for a very
that's
short
probably
period
why.
of time. Yeah. And he bought the last one from his local store back in the day for about I think he said $300 or $400, which was okay for it then.
Yeah.
And apparently, I think he still has it in its box on a shelf somewhere because it's a second one. So it just sits there and it's just slowly going up in price. And I'm sure the old pension fund will appreciate that one. But the other reason they go up so much is not only because they are incredibly powerful synthesizers that are an absolute bugger to program, because it's it's that actual thing of painting the roof of the Sistine Chapel through a letterbox. It's horrible to program. But the reason they are so expensive now is because they're rare, and they're rare because when Yamaha were developing the Montage, the FM engine in the Montage and subsequently the Modi X is this 8-operator FM engine that is based on the 8-operator FM section of the FS1R. Yeah. And so when they were developing sounds, Yamaha went round on eBay and all of these places and hoovered them all up, sent them to the sound designers to build the sounds on, and subsequently the market was bereft of a lot of FS1Rs. So that's one of the reasons they are so hard to find. So,
do you know, I remember the FS1R, and it, we had that appearing in studios back in the 80s, 90s. And something like that. And that whole thing of painting through a letterbox, there was actually something about that for people because I did a lot of DX programming, lots, and pretty much all the sounds I used on any of the tracks that I made using them were sounds I programmed, starting from someone else's, and then But it's almost worth a show about that thing of programming through that letterbox, because in actual fact, after a while, when you're doing this stuff, that disappears, and you're holding the whole thing in your head. And you're kind of finding it, it becomes really quick to find your way around, but you have to kind of understand what's going on first. You have to have done it and done that interaction. Yeah. So I talked to Manny about this. He felt the same way.
I think the plan that Yamaha had at the time was that they would release this thin box that was super powerful, but also this was around the time, I think it was 99 that it came out, that it was around the time that we were starting to use computers more with editors and librarians, and I think that there was some software for FS1R that Yamaha produced, but I don't think it ever came to market. Certainly not beyond the development stage. And you can get editors now. I think Coffee Shop do a good editor for this. I think there's also one made by the guy that does Edison, which is a free editor and librarian. I believe there's an FS1R thing in there, but I don't think it covers all of the aspects of it because there's no F sequencing in there, the formant sequencing. But yeah, I mean,
that's the best bit.
Yeah,
exactly.
The choirs and the vocal stuff.
Yeah, the vocal stuff is incredible. Yeah,
that's really why I struggle to sell them, because of course it's DSP based. So you run out of DSP and it's like, what? So that's the end of the sound. And of course, back in the noughties when I was selling them, people were like, well, what else have you got?
But it's one of the reasons why
they were using the multi-timbrely. Now we
with
tend to use
1500
one
patches.
synth for one sound, and then
it's
not a problem, is it? It's a different way of working now. So people are looking back to this era and looking, wow, what can I get for my money? Wow, that's great.
But Yamaha absolutely missed a trick. I don't know why. That if they used the FM engine out of this, why didn't they use the formant stuff?
Yeah,
because that would have made in the montage that would have just made it incredible. Because even Dr. Chowning said at the time, when they brought this out, he said this is absolutely the next step of evolution for FM is building in the formant stuff as well, because the things you can do with it. So if the guy that discovered FM synthesis says that, why didn't you do it anyway?
Yeah,
that's always been
I was
pet hate.
I was going to ask Dan, just out of interest, at any point, do you have any thoughts or hankering to create something using a formant, a more formant based thing? I know you've got the harmonics or whatever it is, but are you looking at that as an area?
Not actively, but we are always interested in unique ideas for original synths, and I'm certainly not opposed to exploring something like that. I've never been a big FM synth programmer. I mean, I'm like James. I've always had a hard time kind of wrapping my head around FM synths. The ones I love are the SY22 and the SY35. The vector synths that blend the FM sounds with the kind of lo-fi samples, and that's always spoken to me. I love those. I have a SY35 on top of my Poly Moog, and somehow they just go together really nicely. We are always looking for interesting experimental synth things.
Like the anaglyph.
Well, yeah, the anaglyph would be good. No, I think Yamaha.
I don't know.
I'm surprised that Yamaha haven't entered into the software, recreation, their legacy catalog, as Roland and Korg have done, because I think they've got so much that they could put out there that is very unique, such as, if they were to do an FS1R plugin, if they were to do a VP1 plugin or a VL1 plugin.
I mean, imagine if you did an FS1R, except you didn't have a tiny little window, you had the whole screen and all the power today.
It would be amazing. It would be amazing.
Brilliant.
They've got a heck of a legacy catalogue that they could mine there and do it properly.
Too busy selling clarinets.
I know, right? Crazy.
That's where the money is, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean,
don't care about us.
I think there's some ridiculously single-digit figure. The percentage of Yamaha's overall business is in synthesizers. It's like 5% or something stupid.
And speedboat engines.
Yeah.
Motorboat engines. Let's do that.
Yeah, and
instead.
No, they don't do the cars. Suzuki that do the cars, but then of course Suzuki do the Omnichord, so they've redeemed themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, the Suede, as it's known, is out now. It's at Stride Audio. That's Stride with a Y. StrideAudio.com. It's $99, 99 euros. There is a demo version that you can download. I think it works for about 10 minutes, but you can certainly get in there and mess around. It's really, really good, and I'm so glad that they finally brought it to market. I did worry. I thought maybe it's kind of disappeared, become vaporware, but it hasn't. It's there. It's available, and it's very good, and I really like it. Of course, the third synthesizer that was released this week in plug-in form was this wonderful thing. There isn't really an official demo video, but they did. The developers did release a comparison video where they play the same little riff, and they switch between the software and the hardware. And I challenge you to hear the difference in this. I'll only play a little bit because it does get a little bit repetitive. It's the same kind of melody. But this is new from TAL. This is the TAL J8X. It goes on that for about 5 minutes. It's not the most thrilling of things. I wish they would do a really decent performance thing of it. But this is the TAL J8X, which is a recreation, as you saw there, of the family of synthesizers that kicked off with the Roland JX8P, which also spawned the MKS70 and the JX10. So it's the same stuff, the same sounds that you'll get, and those few little demos there. I mean, really difficult to tear them apart. It's got the typically well-designed interface that TAL are known for, the accuracy of the sound that they're also known for. But of course, it does, like Cherry Audio do, it expands upon the original and delivers much more. So you've got EQ delay and effects in there. You've got aftertouch and MPE support, micro tuning support. You've got a new filter mode, which is a modern filter that allows for self oscillation. You've got a chord mode in there and an arpeggiator with loads of different modes in there as well. But the beauty of it is that it will read all the original SysX files, so you can upload patches from the hardware. It also works as a librarian stroke editor for the hardware, which I think is a brilliant thing when you're doing vintage recreations in software. That you can use it with the original hardware, and it actually becomes a tool that you can use there as well. It's such a really, really good synth, and it's currently got an intro discount of 20%, so it's normally £53.99 UK. You can get it for £43.19. Plus taxes on top of that as well, so add another 20% on. But that's that offer is open through till April 30th. I have only ever played Peter's JX10, and I've played the JX8P once or twice. But there are so many sounds on this. When you flick through, even in that demo, there was one or two that just made me go, "Oh, that's where that sound came from."
I did a one-off roadie gig for Go West a few years back, just because you do.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise the majority, all their synth sounds JX8P, so I had to carry that on stage and tune his guitar and stuff. It was a good fun gig, but
nice.
Found a new respect for that synth because you've seen him around, and I just thought, well, where's the knobs?
Exactly,
it's flat.
It was
Where's
that
the knobs?
time. Yeah, DX7 had come out like 2 years before the JX8P, I think. 'Cause that was 85.
Yeah.
Everyone was thinking digital, but Roland were like holding on hard and fast. We're going to carry on making analog synthesizers, but we're going to introduce a digital style interface with membrane keys and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, the JX10 is a wonderful, because the JX10 is essentially two JX8Ps, isn't it? And isn't the Kev, maybe you'll be able to clear this up. The MKS, the MKS70. I don't think that's a straight JX8P in a box, is it? Or even a JX10? It's kind of like somewhere in between.
It's a JX10 in a box.
It is literally a JX10.
Yeah, it was my first analog synth, the MKS70. First one I ever had.
Didn't they call it something? like Super Jupiter or
Super
something.
Jupiter.
Super
Yeah,
Juno.
Super Jupiter.
Yeah,
Super
Which I think-
Juno.
Oh,
The
Juno?
Super Jupiter is the MKS 80.
Is the
The
MKS
MKS 70.
Yeah.
Super
Oh, because the
Juno.
MKS 50 was the Alpha Juno in the box, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But
It's one of those things where like the programmers go for more than the synth.
Oh, yeah.
If you find
Yeah,
the
yeah.
PG programmers like
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
GX3P, they're like $250, $300
Get one of
for
these.
GX3P.
yeah,
Yeah, those are they're out there too. Everyone's got a ESQ1 has those, and Mirage has one now.
and also the company in Holland, D-Tronics, they do some of those.
Recently,
recreations. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do some. They do one. They did one last year. Was it last year or the year before?
Super Booth, they
TFL,
had
yeah.
one or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Any fond memories of the JX8P, and anyone going to go out and buy
Well,
it? I
I-
mean, I bought it. Yeah, go for it.
I owned all of these at the same time, at different times. But I also owned the MKS80. So I was using the MKS80 and I was using Oberheims as well. And it just happened that at the time these came out, everyone was using them and everyone was using those sounds. And I got a bit jaded by the same sounds. I had the programmers and everything else. And because I had the MKS80, which did just that bit more, I kind of dropped them. And I think I swapped all three of them, each of them, for a Yamaha DMP7. So I got three
yeah.
Yamaha DMP7s instead. And then I got the JD800. So, yeah, there were some sounds on this that were good, but it was a very ubiquitous sound, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I would like a JX8P at one.
I
I
have
almost
the,
bought Dom's GX3P, which I think is just a pretty looking system.
The JX3P is a different sound, though. I
Very
love the sound of it.
aggressive
totally different.
and raw and very
Yeah, I
different
loved
from
that.
the other
I
ones.
Fine,
I kept
sure.
that for much longer than the others. Yeah,
I have
Much,
the
much,
Verkoven mod in this one.
Okay.
So that adds pulse width modulation.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And has it fared well? Your JX8P?
Yeah, it's but mint condition. Perfect.
Nice.
The aftertouch is a bit funky in the middle.
Yeah.
I need to
They
fix that.
always are. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's a letdown on the JX10s and the JX8Ps. Is you have to really dig into the aftertouch to activate it.
You
But
can
I'll
change
tell
some
you,
resistors.
I've owned a bunch of JX10s and a couple JX8Ps and the programmers, and I will tell you that the JX10 does not get enough credit because in the 80s, vintage synth era, that thing had velocity, it had aftertouch, you had 4 oscillators and 2 filters and 4 envelope generators per voice. I mean, it was a massive synthesizer. If it was let down by anything, it was let down by the DCOs, and the programmers were very steppy, do as you move the sliders. But again, really, really powerful analog synthesizers that were kind of let down by their interface. But from a feature point of view, you won't find analog synths that could do more than those things did.
Yeah.
Really good stuff.
Really good sounding synths. And,
they were.
Yeah. I own a JX8P. I just want to say this because it's fun. I have a JX8P that I owned in the 90s, and I sold it to a coworker of mine back when I worked at Sonic Foundry. And then we all went our separate ways, and she moved out to San Francisco. And a few years ago, she emailed me and said, "Hey, I have this thing sitting in my closet. You want it?" And I said, "Okay." So I sent her a shipping label, and it came back to me. It's one of the very, very few synths I've ever sold that actually came back to me.
I have a similar story with the Alesis Fusion. I had 3 Fusions. I used to play out with
it
them in
was
New
you
York.
that bought them all.
And I sold them all. When we moved down to Delaware, I sold them all. And then about 5 years later, I was like, I really want a Fusion. I had all my custom presets and everything else. And so I bought one online from eBay. And it arrived. And it was one of my...
That's nice. That's pretty good.
It was meant to
had
be.
all the band patches in it and everything,
Wow.
I had the same
I did-
experience with the ESQ1. I 10 years later, I found one in a music store and I got nostalgic and I'm like, I think I might want to buy this. It was like $300, and I started going through the patches and I put the cartridge in and it was mine.
Yeah.
And I bought it.
I miss the MKS70, I have to say, and especially once you put the mod in that gives you the pulse width modulation and all that kind of stuff, it makes it an absolute beast. I do miss that, I have to say.
Well, when I was young, the reason like for JX3P and JX8P, even though they're very different, I had a 3P loaned to me for a while, and it was the first synth I ever had that would do oscillator sync because I wanted that Cars sound, or like the Cure, the Walk, you know, that really, nothing else did that was inexpensive, you know. And so when I was able to do that, I'm like, oh, I love this. And the 8P did it, and then eventually my ESQ1 did it. And then it was a passe sound, you know, after the Cars used it on every track in their later years, you know.
But the 3P is so easy to program without the programmer.
No, it's true.
Whereas the 8P is a little bit more difficult.
It's kind of prosumer though, because it has like piano and clav and all these, like, you know, it has the labels like it really trying to recreate, you know, organic sounds with it still, but it did sound good.
Yeah.
So would anyone get this TAL J8X? Because
I think I would.
I think I'm going to.
Yeah, I don't like the UI. I don't know what's going. I love their Jupiter UI, but this one is.
Yeah. It's for me.
Bargain basement.
Yeah,
UI.
I've got the Roland Cloud, and the Cloud has got a JX8P model expansion, so it works in their Xenology thing.
Yeah, I have it in the Jupiter.
Yeah, and it sounds good, but it for me, I don't know. It's just having a proper standalone version of it. I don't know why Roland haven't done it in their legendary.
Well, when you play this with the Jupiter X next to it, this is miles better. You can it's so alive.
Yeah,
you know, the Xenology in the Jupiter X doesn't cut the mustard.
Not quite it, but there isn't. I bought this straight away because I said there isn't. I don't think anything else apart from the free PG8X. I think it was called. I think Babs actually said in the chat, how does this stand up to the PG8X? She's been comparing them for the last couple of days. They are different. The filter is way different. I don't know whether that's a good thing. You know, which one is the better one, the closer one? I'd imagine.
Well, the PG8X is a very nice UI because it's the programmer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's a good idea.
And this, they've said they've put a different filter into the TAL one. They've got their own filter.
Yeah. And of course, the other great thing about this, for those that care, is that it's also available for not only Mac and Windows, but also for Linux as well, and all available in the 5 main formats. So,
they've got to have something, haven't they?
Something for everyone, isn't it? Really, I think TAL did great work. I love their Talfa, not only for the synth, but also it's a great name.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a really good thing. So I'm very happy that they've done this, and I bought it straight away.
What's happened there?
I know it was this different kind of.
I quite like that.
It requires everyone to be
close
sat
and personal
in the centre.
Hang on, what's going on?
Yeah, no, you see, that's
Kent's still too far back. Clint, lean forward. Is he awake? Kent, are you with us?
Yeah.
Where have I gone?
Come forward.
Yeah, let's do that. Anyway, somebody's reminded me in the chat that it is only 34 days until Super Booth. Yes. Can't wait. So excited.
I wish I could go. I had such a good time last year.
Did anybody look at the ticket price to Europe? It's like $2,500 to go to Europe at the moment.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I looked at going back to see my brother in the UK. $2,500 to get to the UK.
Yeah, because you were going to come down to Synth South West.
Obscene.
Fuel.
So sorry for you guys.
Fuel.
Anyone. Yeah.
No, I was. I booked those tickets last year. So hopefully Ryanair won't up them, and here's a surcharge.
Just stick another customer on your lap.
Yeah,
that's what Ryanair will do.
Exactly.
Get twice as many people on the plane.
Very true.
I'm just going to jump a missile.
Yeah, well, that'll be coming from the UK, right?
Yeah. No. So 34 days until Super Booth, which is scary in a way, and also very exciting, because that's a really good place to go. And me and Peter will both be there. I think, in fact, I think Manny and Mike Metley and Amanda, Cats in the TV, a whole bunch of other people are all staying at the same. We're all staying at the same hotel, so it's going to be like party town. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, if you're at Super Booth this year, don't forget to come and find us. Say hello. We're not doing anything ourselves. We're punters. This is the one show I go to where I am mostly a punter. But I've already started making appointments to go and see various people about things. One thing I did notice, I don't know if anybody's had a look, I was looking at the exhibitor map and the space where Arturia, because Arturia generally have a very large stand in the corner of what is called the gym section, or the W section, or duvet. And they have this big, massive stand with like everything, big screens and cameras and all sorts of things. It's not there. The only presence Arturia have got is their little private secret room.
Oh, weird.
Oh, really?
Which I thought, because I was half expecting something to kind of come out, but it doesn't look like it.
I wonder
unless
if
the map's wrong.
You know, will Korg be there with a PS3300 that people can actually play?
Yeah. So Korg don't normally go themselves. It's the German distributor that does the Korg stand at Super Booth, and they always have it in the foyer. So when you go into the foyer, they have this big inflatable kind of stand that is Korg. And yeah, they had the 3300 that you could only play if you were somebody special or important.
In the glass box, right?
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
When I was at NAMM, I was talking
yeah.
to somebody, and someone had snuck into the glass box, and I was watching the whole thing, and I was talking to one of the guys, David or someone at Korg, and it was just like they realized that he wasn't part of press because they were only allowing press in there.
Yeah.
And the guy's just like some dude, he's just twisting knobs, and I'm watching it kind of smiling to myself, like no one has a clue who this guy is. Right. And then they turn around, like suddenly the security is on, and they were polite, but it was just like they didn't lock the glass box, you know.
I would definitely do
so
that.
You didn't trigger the lasers.
Buy the plug-in.
Well, indeed, yeah, buy the plug-in.
I've got the plug-in.
So have I. It's
Korg
freaking
Berlin
brilliant.
will be there with their, the actual finished article, which is what do they call it? The electronic kalimba thing.
Oh wow, yeah, thing.
What do they call that again? I can't remember what it was
I
called.
forget. It was it's
It's
at
been,
NAMM.
it's been promised for so long, and it eventually it turned up, and everyone was like,
The Korg Galimba.
yeah. So anyway, so it should be good. But it was interesting to see Phase 8. Thank you, Uncle Chrome. So I was looking at the map, and I was just very, very taken that Arturia, who normally have a very big presence, whatever they've got going on, don't seem to have a stand, because in that corner they've got 5 other things. In fact, Love FM, the Icelandic company with that really cool little FM that looks like a Game Boy.
Oh,
that
not that
ready?
one, yeah.
Yeah,
Is it ready yet?
I think it might be, because I know that our friend Mark Barnes has been doing some sound design for it, so
Cool.
it could very well be. And I want to go and see if I can get hands on, because I had a phone call from our dear friend Ty Unwin a couple of days ago, and he says, I've got 10 minutes before I have to go and pick my daughter up, but I need to tell you something. And I was like, oh God, what? He says, I've just bought the most inspiring synthesizer I have ever had. Now, given that it's Ty Unwin, that's some kind of accolade. He just had his Genki, I can't remember the big Icelandic thing with the
Kalta.
Yes, yeah.
That's what I said earlier. Yeah,
With
there aren't
the-
many things from Iceland, you know.
Exactly, and it's
Yeah.
got
$5,000
lava
knobs.
rock
Yeah.
on the
Volcanic-
sides, and the
volcanic
filter
rock.
knob has got a piece of volcanic lava rock in the filter knob.
Mm-hmm.
And he
It's lying around in the garden, and it's not a problem. It'd be special here, but in Iceland,
Yeah.
you go, I need some lava rock. Oh, there it is.
I know.
There
it's
it
just-
is.
Yeah.
It's their wood,
Yeah,
but
It's like making a Welsh
he's
slate synthesizer.
Yeah.
On the whole.
Well, there you go. The market's there. But sonically, he says it is the most inspiring thing. That
It
he's
sounds
ever
awesome.
played.
I've played it several times. Those are really nice guys too.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if I could spend $5,000.
It's €5,000.
I could sell my Deckard's Dream and maybe swap it or
Yeah.
something.
But why
But
bother?
those
Yeah, I know.
those Cattler effects on the modulation.
That's the
should
cool
I say.
part. Yeah, that's the cool part.
Because they've all got these Icelandic names that you can't pronounce, and they introduce, like, there's a wave folding one. And they introduce these really kind of it's random, I suppose, or what's the word I'm looking for? Probability, that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Chance
And-
or whatever.
And then I was watching a video because I haven't, he wasn't playing it down the first video. I was watching somebody else's video. Is it Mr. Tunafish? I think is his channel's name.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah.
And he was doing a patch from scratch, and he just brought up a filtered pad sound. It was just very nice. And he introduced some reverb. And I thought, oh yeah, that's nice. And he starts playing with the wave folding thing. Oh, that's really nice. Then he brings the LFO in onto the reverb, and it was just like, whoa. Then he brings in this stereo spread thing, and it's like, yeah, I completely get why Ty is excited about that one. So
They've changed the design a lot. It was analog, and then I think that he ended up going. He told me he's going with digital oscillators.
Digital
finally.
oscillators, yeah.
Yeah.
But the rest, I think it's digital oscillators, but everything else is an analog signal.
And no real
So the-
presets. He had this presetter that was just like these weird buttons, and I'm not sure if he did away with that or not.
No, well,
you know?
on the version that I've seen, and certainly Ty was mentioning this, he said that's the one thing about it is the presets, because you've got these 3 rows, and they call, I forget what they call them now, but each one of those has got 4 user and 4 factory kind of buttons that you can store settings, but it's settings per lane rather than an overall global preset thing.
Yeah, you can do effects presets and
That's right,
Yeah,
modulation
yeah, exactly.
presets and then oscillation
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
presets. Yeah, and so you can then just mix and match, I suppose. So that's an interesting thing that you
That's
can mix
clever.
and match, but you should be
Yeah.
able to hopefully save all, so I like this combination. Give me a button for that. So I don't know whether there's a computer-based application.
I don't know. I don't
it's
think
called,
so.
I think it's called Cherry Plugins.
But it is. Go and check it out. I mean, it's £5,000 worth of awesome, but it sounds £5,000.
No, it sounds really good. Yeah.
It does sound amazing, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting hands-on again with the Magnolia. Fractals will be there as well, and hopefully there'll be some really cool new stuff. But 34 days, yay! Anyway, we've kind of run out of time, so. Yeah, I think it's time that we say goodbye. I think we've covered all of the news this week. So thank you ever so much once again to Dan, to Mal, and to James from Cherry Audio for coming on, spending 2 hours with us. We're super grateful.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
No, it's always a pleasure, never a chore. We look forward to what you are going to bring next, and hopefully it won't be too... I always like the release of a Cherry Audio product because it means that the next one isn't too far away because you are churning them out.
If everything goes according to plan, I can't wait to come back and talk to you guys about our next product.
Naughty man.
Can't wait.
So we'll see you next week.
Yep.
No, not next week.
Worth a try. Worth a try. No, but congratulations on the release of DS2. It's another brilliant addition to your ever-expanding collection. And
Thank you.
we look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. So, guys, thank you very, very much for everything there. To Jason, to Andrew, and to Kent, thank you, as always, for joining and for your input. It's been useful and entertaining, and I know our viewers appreciate everything that you put in. So that's, and I do too, of course. We will be back same time, same place next week. I don't think we've got any guests lined up yet, but I am speaking to a few extra people, so fingers crossed we'll have more of that coming on. Anybody doing anything cool or interesting music-wise over the weekend, over this extended Easter weekend? Because I don't know about you guys. I think America, you do have Friday off, but you're back to work on Monday, right?
Yeah.
No, we're working today.
I'm working. I'm leaving
day
for
we're
Southern
working on the
California.
company,
My
right?
office in Austin is down for today, but they're back at work on Monday. But we have a long 4-day weekend,
Yeah.
you see.
Did you guys watch that new Expander documentary
Oh,
from
yes.
Alex Ball? I'm surprised
Thank
we didn't
you.
talk about that.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it was in my head. Alex Ball's Oberheim documentary called Expander came out last night. It was live streamed last night.
So good.
It is brilliant because he's got so many people
he's got
playing.
it.
He's got Anthony Marinelli doing some demonstrations for him, and also the clips of Anthony's interview with Tom. Starsky Carr does a demo on there. Devon, I can never pronounce his name, Bellinger, I think his surname is the guy. He's done some demos on there, really cool. Lots of great stuff. And, of course, Alex with his incredible research, all run through Marcus Ryle to make sure it's completely accurate. It's fantastic. Oh, Dina says she wants to make an announcement. So by all means, Dina, type it into the chat, and I'll hang around long enough to pop that in. So do that, and we'll come back to you in just a moment. So please do go and watch the Alex Ball documentary. It's really, really good, and it's up there with the rest of his stuff. So it's very, very good stuff. Right, this weekend I'm going to be digging even more into this, because this is flipping brilliant. It's so much fun. It's such a lot of fun, and I've been doing some. I've been doing lots of cheesy stuff, but yeah. Oh,
I need
so
one.
Dina says she's got their April the 9th concert at Berkeley, and it's going to be live streamed and free. Please go over to the Alan R. Perlman Foundation website.
Have a link for that, Mr. Elbows?
I've got. There you go. There's the link. AlanRPerlmanFoundation.org. That's all you need. Their concert on April the 9th is going to be live streamed, and you don't have to pay to watch it. So it's going to be really, really cool.
Love that.
So we'll share that around on our various platforms. But April the 9th is the date for that. And let me just get rid of that off of there. Where's it gone? There it is. Right. Okay. So I'm going to be messing around with that NPC sample, which is just a huge amount of fun. Maybe I'll make a video. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, you should. You should definitely make a video. Definitely.
Yeah, it's just finding the time. I thought I was going to have a nice, relaxing day today, and then somebody said, "Hey, there's a sofa bed that needs building upstairs."
Well, brownie points. That should give you studio time. That's how it works, right? You do one thing, you get the other.
Doesn't work.
Stay single, buddy.
All
the time you want with new sequences.
There you go. That's nice. I had to go with that.
Just you and me this weekend. That's what I'll be learning.
Oh, my eldest got engaged.
Hey!
Oh, hurrah!
Him and his
Congrats.
partner, in South Africa.
At least you don't have to pay for the wedding.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I won't have to pay for that one.
Thanks to Mr. Elbows.
Yeah. There you go. There's the link in there, and
So pop it on the old every game. That's it. Can we click on that?
we can't. It'd be great if you could make them clickable, but it's
If
in
you
the chat,
highlight it in the chat, you can. But I only think it's only you that can pin it in the chat.
Yeah.
Through YouTube.
Post this on the PSN.
We'll make a song.
Facebook post. That'll do it.
Indeed.
Or you can just do what I just did and copy and paste, and it works equally quickly.
Brilliant. Right, okay, thank you ever so much, and we'll be back same time, same
Thanks,
place
guys.
next week. Thanks once again to Dan, to Mal, to James from Cherry Audio. Thank you to Ken, to Andrew
guys.
and Jervis. And we'll see you all very, very soon. And to Jackson and Tom as well. Let's say thank you to them. We'll see you same time, same place next week.
There you go.
Thanks for coming. Stay
Bye, thanks.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.